Everybody, welcome in. Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7. It sounds cool, it sounds crazy, but we'll see what happens. So hopefully you guys enjoyed staring at me for these first few moments, because now we got a lot more people on this wonderful cast of characters to talk about this finale, if you will. All I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, here is meet me at the wall. It's going down. Meet me at the wall. Gave a little twist on a favorite young jock jam there, if you will. I believe he said meet me at the mall, but I'm changing it up for Game of Thrones. So what's going on?
Looks like we made it.
Thought y'all were gonna go with the ice wall's falling down, falling down, falling down.
Not too bad. I'll take that one as well.
All right.
So we got our cast here. Introduce yourselves. Super, what's going on? Say hi, and what'd you think of the episode real fast?
Wow, what was it I said? That episode was all the season finales worth of crazy with all the extra cherries on top. That was insane.
All right, Mess, what'd you think, man?
I think the episode content was amazing. At first I was like, oh no, they're finally giving us a really slow episode because the parlay was getting like but no, it came through. My actual thought on the wall was Tormund Dumpty went up the wall. Tormund Dumpty had a great fall when the ice dragon came in.
Oh, poor Tormund.
He froze in his glorious smile.
Hey, that was awesome. Scared you. How's that for it, huh? Going good there. Hey, Beacon, how you doing, man? What'd you think of the episode?
Hey, I don't know, man. It was good. It had its moments of greatness.
Nice.
And then it had its moments of like, I don't know, like could have done without a few things, but no, for the most part, it was pretty good.
Nice.
I do like what shout out to Nancy in the chat room though, where she was not happy with it because she said that was no ending. It was an hour and a half commercial for an unfinished book, and I couldn't.
Amen to that. Yeah,
I can agree with that.
Nancy.
Yeah,
100%. Nice shirts, by the way, Mest and Beacon. I'm all about a good Game of Thrones shirt, and you guys got some good ones on you.
Yeah, this is the one that makes me sad, by the way. Like I love the shirt, but it makes me sad every time I look at it. I'm like,
it does.
This was this year's
my boy Hodor.
This was this year's Hall H panel Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Way to be able to fit into those. They're always like a large or extra large, and I'm too fat of a boy to fit.
I used to not be able to fit into them.
I need a Hodor sized shirt when they hand those out. So
it's doing all these podcasts and sweating in this room when there's no circulation.
That's what I need. Okay, I'll turn my fans off for the podcasts, and I'll do more unboxing videos to start sweating them out.
There you go.
Yeah, shout out to Robert. Great episode, but was left wanting more. I think we all were. I think that's what Game of Thrones does really well. Anyways, every single season is we get those really big, epic, cliffhangers at the end of them. Like last season, we got Dany taking off with all of the ships to Westeros. This year, we get a dragon tearing down a wall and the White Walker army marching down on the north. So.
Yeah. As my buddy said, George R.R. Martin is like a drug dealer. He gives you just enough to get you hooked, and then you got to wait years and years and years to find the.
And him being a drug dealer, he's cool with
drugs.
He's cool with incest as well. That's just kind of a thing, I think.
Some things.
The entire episode.
Drugs are bad. Incest is bad.
The entire episode, my wife's sitting next to me, going every time there was a scene with John and Dany, going. Don't F your aunt. Don't F your aunt.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
We do have to be fair.
I did not type into. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
We do have to be fair in the fact that they don't know. They think they're good.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know. We know it's blah.
Brand's poor face. We need to let him know. We need to let him know. We need to tell him. Things are happening bad, Sam, on the boat. We gotta get there. Poor Bran is in his own head as the three-eyed raven, just like, not my brother. No, don't do that to your aunt. Don't do that to your aunt. What is up, Tuna? Luna, my man. What's up, Luna? Good to see you, brother. And we have our wonderful producer, Jack, also in the chat room, you guys. So check it out and come on and join us live if you're not here. It's always a great time.
Yeah, shout out to Tuna Luna in the chat channel as well. The Dragon Screech was bone-chillingly perfect. I totally agree. Yeah.
Hey, I gave you all the perfect meme last episode. Where's my Yu-Gi-Oh blue-eyed white dragon? Come on now, let's get him going here. Let's get him rolling.
I didn't see anybody use that as a meme. I was looking for it because you mentioned it, but I did see a meme out there where they had the "I choose you" and they had the
I saw that.
White
I had one. I saw one that did a blue eyes. So I don't know if that was one of my personal friends or not, but I did see one. So make sure you guys in the chat room like and subscribe. We'll get this thing started. Let's start talking about the episode, man. So we start off in the Dragon Arena. So we have the two armies here kind of finally meeting up and joining at King's Landing, and everybody gets together, right? We get our little reunion between Podrick and Tyrion, and everybody's there. I love the look that the Hound gives Brienne.
Yeah.
And that she gives him back I'm shocked, but I've seen so much that I shouldn't be shocked at this point. So, like.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely one of those things where it was something new, interesting to her, but it wasn't like it was going to break her day. She's like,
the conversation they had about Arya was awesome too. Arya's still safe. He's like, where is she in Winterfell? Like, who's protecting her? And Brienne's like, nobody. Someone should protect whoever gets in her way. And I was like, I'm not going to get in her way.
Is that when they cut? Did they cut right after that to Sansa, or did they not cut right after that to Sansa? I don't remember.
Sansa for a while. In that.
Yeah.
No, we didn't see Sansa for a little while. It came a little later.
It would have been an interesting cut to Sansa at that point, playing on the are they battling?
Yeah, it made me miss. It just made me miss the whole Arya and the Hound.
It did, because they had a really odd relationship. Well, and the fact that he acknowledged that, I was trying to keep her safe. Maybe I did it in a really weird, screwed up way, but I was trying to keep her safe.
Yeah, and the Hound had a lot of humor with that.
I like the look on his face when he learned that she was alive. Like, oh, like where is she? He just, you could see that actual bit of care was that little twinkle was there. He had that little twinkle in his eye.
Yeah.
So,
no, even though she left him to die, he was still kind of excited to hear her that she was there. So that's good. No, absolutely. So we finally get in there. Everybody's there. Cersei shows up with her band as well. We've got Euron, Theon Greyjoy. I mean, can someone explain this a little bit more to me? Like, why are they bringing him into this? Like, how did he even get the invite?
He was there. I mean, technically, they're still allied with that part of the Iron Throne. I mean, they are the Iron Islands.
It's called all hands on deck.
All hands on deck.
If you're a wimp or not, you're coming.
No. And so I guess technically he's still representing that part of the alliance, even though Yara has been taken.
I just want to see the note that Euron sent to Theon to get him there. Like, I'm sure it had to be Euron that wrote the note for it, and what kind of dirty trash talk that he threw in there. Shout out to Nancy, though. Yeah, I would love to see Arya's new collection of faces with Littlefinger joining in, which we'll get to in a little bit. I'm not a frog. You're not a bunny, Nancy. Let's not jump ahead here, all right? Let's get into this. So... as we kind of get in there, so we see, first of all, I'm only going to be making entrances one way into rooms now, and I will have a dragon every single time I jump into a room from now on.
There you go.
So just letting you know, if I don't come in with a dragon, it wasn't worth my time even being there. Dany shows up big and bad. Who do you think was more surprised by this entrance of Dany coming in on a dragon, though, Beacon?
Well, I don't know, because it looked like Jamie was going to crap his pants there for a moment when he heard the wings flap. He kind of like PTSD.
He was
flashback there real quick.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
because he's like, go. Like, which way do I jump? Which way do I jump? Where's the plate?
Take cover. Where's Bronn? I need help. And then Cersei gives the whole, like, you're late. We've been waiting for you. Like...
Stone
Yeah, I don't.
cold.
I
Stone
don't know,
cold.
man. All of King's Landing, I'm sure, was pissing their britches a little bit there.
Well, my favorite part was Euron's because he literally jumped out the chair and it looked like he was about to bolt before his game was up. Man, he looked like he was ready to get the heck out of there. So I was gonna say, Mess, talk to us a little bit about this meeting now. Like, talk to us a little bit, kind of what was going on and what you saw there.
Well, that was, I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but didn't it seem like Dany was a little unsure the way she wasn't having that, like, I'm only when she got off the dragon did she have that high and mighty walk, but when she sat down, she seemed to shrink a little, and she was just kind of sitting there. Cersei seemed the more commanding power and respect during that meeting. That's the way I saw
Cersei's, it. Yeah.
So,
this is her playing field. This is where she's comfortable. I mean, she's right outside King's Landing. She's got her whole army.
But once again, you have dragons coming in and stuff like that, so you're not like you
well, and see, here's
scared, but you're not. Yeah.
And no, I'm glad you saw that though, Mess, because here's the thing that I saw from that is Cersei was the only one who didn't know what was about to show up. And what I meant by the best entrance ever, I want you guys to decide here. Was it Dany on the dragon, or was it the Hound walking up with a backpack of
right? Yes.
But I think that was why we kind of saw her shudder a little bit and kind of sink into her chair, because she knew it was going to come up those stairs. And Cersei still had her bravado because she had no idea what was about to show up still. And I think we kind of saw that fear in Dany still, where she saw this army. She knew what it was about. She saw him take down a dragon. And this was something that was going to terrify the group for sure. And I think that's why we kind of saw a little bit of that sinking away, if you will.
Well, I think
I do have to point out one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have to point out one thing about this meeting, and it was bugging the heck out of me. Why the hell wasn't Jon burning up? Because he was decked to the nines for winter and was dressed. So,
hey man, it had to be chilly there. It started snowing when Jamie left, so it was getting frosty down there. Winter has arrived. We know
how time goes this season. That could have been 3 or 4 weeks later that happened when winter came to the south.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. But no, I agree. No, Jon. Yeah, he should have been. He needed some like Gold Bond for the crotch there to make sure he wasn't all muggy for sure. I've no doubt about it. I wonder what they used back then. Maybe like dragon bone dust. Is that what the bone dust was for? Was the
by the way,
who knows?
I like to Luna's Clegane Bowl 2018 with the meeting of Hound in the Mountain.
Oh yes, how did we forget about that?
Which bothers me with the whole change of the actors, because the Mountain should be bigger than the Hound, not like looking eye to eye. So that kind of bothered me a little bit.
I'm glad you saw that. Absolutely. I was going to bring that up too. I'm so glad you saw that.
Yeah. It bothered me a little bit. Like in full armor, he's eye to eye. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, we didn't see if
they must have forgot a couple of spinal cords is all I was saying.
Yeah, that's
back
true.
Together. You know, they must have put someone else's leg on him.
We didn't see if the Hound was standing on his tippy toes when he was up eye to eye.
Is that what he did? He just kind of walked up to his brother. He made sure
he was standing on the crate. No,
he stepped on the White Walker's skull right there. Just was like, yeah, I got this. This is me. And Nancy's hoping to see Jon in a bathing suit real soon. Well, I mean, you got to see him shirtless last episode, Nancy. I don't know why you're needing him in a bathing suit now. So, we'll get him shirtless later on in the episode when we talk about him on a boat. We'll get there, Nancy. Don't worry, we'll get there. So we get in here, and obviously Euron is finally just, he's talking trash. They finally see this White Walker come out. They finally see some fear. I think this is the first time, and Cersei talks a little bit about it later in the episode, where she sees something that gets her, and Euron finally sees something that scares him, is according to what he says here. Now, we'll get to this in a little bit. But do you think this was a play by them, or do you think Euron really did see something here that frightened him a little bit?
Oh no, he was definitely frightened, but it was still a play. I mean, I don't think that they knew that was
Cersei.
Yeah, if you trust Cersei, then you're stupid. But you can't not see that and not be a little bit afraid. I mean, you'd have to be completely crazy. And you know what, though? He is completely crazy. So maybe he's really not afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be just another thing to him.
It just goes to show that Greyjoy's blood is pretty similar no matter where.
It's yellow no matter what side you're on.
Yeah.
It's yellow, that yellow blood. No, and Tuna, you do have a good point. The mountain is twice as wide. He's a pretty beefy guy, that's for sure.
Gotta remember, we have a different mountain than we had originally.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, there's a different actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, 100%. Well, who do you think? So this was my big thing, right? So Cersei sees it. She throws out a truce, but she only throws it to Jon. What was the point behind that? Like, why is she only offering that up to Jon? I know she said she doesn't trust Dany at all, but why even bring that up when she doesn't trust anybody?
Well, I mean, she was saying like she'll go and do it and she'll stand down as long as when it's all said and done, Jon stays in the north. So she's pretty much guaranteeing like, Jon, you can have the north at the end as long as you don't fight against me.
Yeah.
Which of course that's when he denies it and he goes, no, I've already.
Yeah.
Well, she's saying you can't choose side because
right.
Maybe her intention is that she can still sway him to side with them away from Daenerys, and once sides have been made, then it's like, well, then I have no chance in this. You could just end up getting me depleted and then just wipe me out right after, which is probably what her plan was in the first place with them, knowing that she's always trying to be 10 steps ahead of everybody. And then when she learns that she can't do that, well, okay, then there is no truce, Yeah. But you guys are in the front and you're going to deal with it before I am. So let you take it.
Absolutely. So Nudie has joined us up, everybody. Nudie Rudy in the house. Hey, man. So what did you kind of think of Cersei's kind of plot here and with her asking Jon for a truce? And do you think she was that far ahead even at that moment? Or do you think it kind of came to her later on in the episode?
Obviously she was, because she set everything up with Euron to bolt and go get the Golden Company shop, because he paid for them probably ahead of time, or at least set something up with the Iron Bank to make sure the money was there with Euron. So yeah, honestly, she's a devious, shisty piece of work. So
we just like to call her that bad bee. She's that bad bee. She's that bad bee that Beyonce's always talked about, right? So living embodiment of it for sure. What you got for us, Super?
I do think she was hoping to drive a wedge. Like, obviously nobody but Daenerys knew that Jon had bent the knee. So hopefully she was like, okay, well, if I can cut off that alliance, and get him not on my side, but at least get him to stand down. I mean, too little, too late.
Absolutely. That's why I kind of wanted to ask you guys is, did Euron really have fear for those White Walkers, or was he just playing the part? Was he playing Cersei's part in all this? I mean, what did you think of that, B?
I'm sorry, you gotta repeat that too. I'm reading this chat channel.
Cersei Lannister, Night Queen. Yeah, no, it's been.
I was like, excellent. she's gonna set up the marriage arrangement to unite the.
Yes, I love it. But no, what I was saying is, do you think that Euron actually had some real reactions here, or was he just playing the part? Was he actually afraid? Was he just wanting to get more information about them not swimming?
I mean, yeah. At first, that's what I thought. Is that he was tucking his tail and running, which, but then obviously later on with Cersei spilling the beans about him going to get the mercenaries from the gold company from Essos. I mean I guess that all makes sense. I mean that she has a game plan and that she had it planned out ahead of time. And then it kind of goes to like, once again, is Tyrion getting, is he getting played again by his sister? You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the it's a perfect moment where we wanted to go though with this is, Cersei had a lot of this planned out. She had Euron going to get the Golden Army to go and pay the Iron Bank, get that basically the mercenary army from them. Do you think she planned on Tyrion showing up as well and trying to have a one-on-one with her? Mess, what do you think about that?
I don't know if she planned to have it. This is how good she is at playing the game. When I was watching that interaction between her and Tyrion, the way she was acting about stuff, I was like, holy crap, for the first time in this entire series, she is having a real non-gameplay conversation with Tyrion. And then to learn that she actually was still playing games with him later. I mean, that's how great of an actress she is as well, though. But because I literally thought this is the first time when she hesitated to tell him to kill Tyrion. And I thought literally this was the first time we were getting a true thing. to go back on the Euron point really quick, I think part of it he was scared. I think the plan was always to send him off to go get those. That's why she didn't want Jon to choose sides, because she knew that she was going to send Euron to go get those people, whether this thing showed up or not. But I have a very weird, throw it off in left field type of thought. What if Euron is actually the father of the baby?
Yeah.
And
That it is possible. She could have done that to secure the alliance and is lying.
I mean, let's
Now
be
he-
honest. In the book, she's much more promiscuous than she is on the show. You know, she
Rudy,
likes
what
to
do
say
you
on the
think
show.
about that? Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say on the show, she likes to say that Jaime's the only man for me and all that, but yet in the books, you know.
Oh yeah, she slept with
She's-
everyone. It's why she got
Yeah.
thrown in the High Sept, you know,
Right.
because
right.
she slept with their cousin, she slept with that other guy, she slept with the foot
Kettle black.
soldier.
I mean,
I mean-
could it make sense that after Euron brings the prize to her, she rewards him with having sex, and then she goes and has sex with Jaime to make sure that if she is pregnant, she can still say, "Hey, this is your child. We have another child coming."
'Cause
So
she's
here's
trying to play Jaime.
so here's
Yeah.
my only part with that though is later on in the episode we watch Jaime walk away and he says, "I'm the only one you have anymore." And the reason why I think it is Jaime's child is because she let him go. And if that was if that was her only other Lannister tie was Jaime, he would have been killed or he wouldn't have been able to go. But now that she has that baby, she has that child that is a Lannister child, she was willing to let Jaime go because he's not the only family that she'll have left.
And that's why I said it was a completely off the wall theory. I just
No, absolutely, and that's my biggest kind of punch to that is I don't think she did that with Euron. First of all, because she is totally using that jagaloon that he is,
Mhm.
and she's throwing it in his face. But we've also heard many times of her talking about if every time she did get pregnant, anything like that, she was killing off babies to make sure she was only having pure-blooded Lannister kids.
Yeah.
So like I said,
Um,
I don't think she lets Jaime go if it's not his.
That is possible. To go back to her conversation with Tyrion, though, I think that Mest had it right. Mostly that I think it was a lot of raw conversation, and then I think you saw her switch at the end. Like you could almost see the stupid switch in her eyes when she was talking one-on-one, sibling to sibling, to "I'm going back to playing the game," when she did let him go from the Hound. But I mean, all that stuff about the kids and like, you know, this is why I hate you. I don't even care why you killed, you know, okay, maybe it was vengeance, but look what your vengeance brought our family. Like you say, you don't want to destroy our family, but you did destroy my family. You know, maybe it was unintentional, but I don't care. I don't care, you know. So I don't see how that would have been part of the game that she was playing. That was just a mother's grief.
well, Nancy makes a good point inside the chat room where she says definitely she wouldn't kill him. He's her only true ally. Back to what you were saying, Big Papa Matt. But here's the thing: we saw what happened with somebody thinking that they have their ally in their pocket this episode. The same thing could end up happening to Cersei because of this. Just like Littlefinger thought he had Sansa.
Mhm.
So
Oh, we're gonna get into that. Absolutely,
I
we're gonna
know.
get into
that's
that.
that's just because
No.
Cersei thinks one thing doesn't mean that necessarily it's going to stay that way.
Absolutely no. Ian, what's up, dude? Welcome
Hey,
in,
guys.
Mr. Icy Zorro.
Just finished it.
Nice, man. So let's get a hot take from you here. So we
Hot
were
take.
just talking about Cersei letting Jaime walk out. You know, do you think that is her?
No one
Jaime's
walks
kid?
away
Do you
from
think
me.
You think that's Euron's kid? Like, what do you think the motivation was behind that? And who do you think she's having a baby with?
Oh, it's absolutely Jaime's kid. There's no question. Well, actually, you know what? Now that you bring it up, Cersei's not exactly chaste. Jaime's only ever been with her, but she's been with plenty of folks. So I guess there's a possibility that it's Euron's, but I got to go just dramatic story angle. It's got to be Jaime's.
Yeah. Okay. No, I like that. So let's jump out of King's Landing. Let's get out of there unless you guys have anything else that you kind of noticed between any of those interactions between the Lannister alliances, the breakups, anything like that. I want to talk about let's get into Winterfell because we had some
Yes.
the first scene. So what I liked what this episode did so well is the beginning of every single scene, whether it was in King's Landing, whether it was in Winterfell, I'm sitting there going like, WTF, what is happening? Why are you doing these stupid things? And everybody had a really good in game and plan. And I don't think anybody was immune to that, especially Sansa. So that first interaction between Sansa and Littlefinger, Nudie, talk to me about that, man. What'd you kind of see there, that first interaction?
Well, honestly, all I want to say about any of that interaction is just that we were all right about Arya and Sansa, playing Littlefinger. I'm glad that I was a big fan theory. That's something that we all discussed, everybody discussed, and I'm letting cat out of the bag by just hopping straight to it. I'm very, very pleased that that's the case. So, that all developing out that way is just it's golden. It's great.
Absolutely. It was great misdirection with that first scene because it seems like you're like, oh God, what? He's leading her down this path again. He's getting her to think the worst things about Arya. And then when it gets flipped later, it's like, yes, perfect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's one of those cool things where I thought that, we'd all been sitting here for episode after episode after episode thinking, what is the end game here? What is really coming out of this? Who is playing who? And we were always wondering who Sansa had learned from most. And I think we got a big moment here where she was learning from Littlefinger the whole time. She was sitting there, and she even mentions, I'm a slow learner, but I'll show you how good I play this game, man. And I actually absolutely love that. Mess, talk to me. We have some mention in the chat channel though about a Qyburn was in the white. What's kind of going?
Qyburn. The right hand of Cersei. Just Nancy brought up. Did you realize how? I think it was it wasn't. It was Tuna Luna that brought up. Did you realize how interested he was in the white? And yeah, he's a creepy little guy. He was getting. We already know he loves working with poison and things like that.
Yeah, we already know he's about one back from the dead.
Qyburn, lover of poison, no change maester, the father of the new mountain.
Gotcha. Well, I have a theory on that as well, and it's out of the box. It's way out there. I'll save it to the end of the episode about what he's going to be doing, but we'll get to that another time. But talk to me, Mess. What else did you kind of see from that Sansa interaction? Do you think she set that up well, or do you think maybe that was a little shallow of an ending for Littlefinger? Do you think they kind of got to that a little differently?
Awesome. I think they did. They showed how much, honestly, Sansa has learned from Cersei. So if they ever go head to head in terms of mental game, there's nobody that will do better than Sansa. Now, I mean, she had me thrown for loops this whole time. Our normal guy that's usually here in the chat isn't here this week, but he called it out exactly what was going on with that whole situation. And I love that that's the way they did it. But I love most of all that Littlefinger's last words were Sansa.
Why is that so poetic though? Like what's so poetic about that?
Just because he thought he had her in the palm of his hands. Yeah. He thought he was doing everything and just.
He spent so much time trying to bring her to him. And she was his focus for like the last year of his life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Beacon, we were talking a little bit in chat before the show started. I really do feel, and I'm glad that you guys loved it. I just felt like they didn't have enough time to finish that story out. I didn't feel like that was much of a payoff. I thought he was gone too quick on that. I mean,
it was rushed. It was a little rushed and compacted into this season. We won't lie. But the actor was brilliant. That was some of his best acting in the show. It was a little over dramatic, kind of when he fell to his knees and begging for his life, because that's really not Littlefinger, but yeah, I think he knew.
Littlefinger's a weasel. He'll say anything he can.
But he will say anything, and he really, I think he thought he could swear. She wouldn't have the stones to really go through with it.
He said something along the lines of, if I could just talk to you and explain everything.
Exactly.
No, dude,
no.
Just explain.
Well, I think that's who he really is. I think it was perfect that he was down on his knees begging and crying, because he's always the guy who talked about, I've never been good with a sword. I've always been behind the scenes. I've always been doing something else. And that is the kind of guy that happens when death is in someone like that's face, is he's on his knees begging for mercy out of that for sure. But Nudie, you're over here nodding your head, man. What you got on that, man? What are you thinking on it?
I'm just glad he's dead. Jesus H. Christ. It was rushed. Everything this season is. They're compacting it in. All that is valid, but he's dead.
My wife stood up and started clapping. Like
my roommate and I did
she
too.
was just slow clapping, just shaking her head, doing the.
I was gonna say my wife threw up a fist. It was like, yeah.
When Arya slashed his throat, both my roommate and I went, yes.
Oh, I went whoa first, and then I was like, oh yes.
I think I sent a chat to Mest. I was just like, we were talking about something else, and in the middle of what I was dictating with the voice recorder, all of a sudden it changed to, oh, holy shit, what the and Mest was like, I'm not there yet. Shh. Like it was a very weird sentence that ended up being sent.
Good. Well, I'm so glad you guys liked that much more than I did. Like I said, I was going on here. I'm like, man, I just didn't dig that. I was really hoping for a little bit more of a play out of that. I really was hoping more of a play on it.
You got to realize that's the only way they could kill Littlefinger. He's so ahead of the game. He's always 12 steps ahead. You have to completely blindside the man in order to get that done.
And
absolutely.
The only person that could do that is Sansa. The only person that could have gotten close enough to do it would have been Sansa.
And
nobody else.
And the only people that know are the people in that room. Because you better believe that face is added to a collection and that they are going to use.
Exactly.
You don't think that Arya is going to use that against Cersei?
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Well, and Nancy
her list is still
about it.
got names on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that Nancy talked about she wished they would have shown her Arya cutting his face off. Maybe. I want to know what that room looks like as she's sawing his face off. Like what that whole just horror of all those knights are like. What is going on in here? Why is this going on?
Yeah, there's no way that she would do that in public because that's giving up her biggest secret.
Nah, you let that fly. You let everybody know you're the G. You let everybody know you're the OG gangster like that.
The only person that knows she's a faceless man right now is Sansa.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And Wolfpack, right? You got to stick together or you die alone. So 100%. No, I loved it. I'm glad you guys did. Like I said, it was awesome to see it. It was a great moment, but I was I kept sitting here like, man, they're going to play this out. And I guess it was an unexpected surprise for me to watch him die like he did. So that was good. And
it was
mostly
nice
just because it was absolutely, and mostly probably because I'm just mad I lost my death pool because some guy predicted it in our death pool. So that's what that was. All right, so we get there, and here's the cool thing about this though, right? Is we finally had this information, and the best part about this scene though that I did love, is how they had all the pieces all of a sudden now. They had every single thing that Littlefinger had done because Bran had filled them in on all the pieces. That, he had filled them in on everything he had done. Poisoning Jon, Aaron, killing the aunt, all of those things. So I just thought that was super, super killer. Did they leave anything out though? Did they leave any of his other crimes out of all this, or did he?
Oh, I'm sure he could have. I mean, his crimes probably could have filled up 18,000 rolls of parchment.
The man was walking. He was walking treachery. Of course, there's more that they left off, but those were relevant.
Gotcha.
I mean, but creepy Bran. I honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even notice Bran was in the room until he started talking.
You didn't see that big old wheelchair hanging out,
right?
I was only focused on and then he was just like, "Oh no, you held a knife to his throat, and you told him you were." And I'm like, "Where the hell did he come from?" Like, how'd I miss the creepy little guy?
You didn't notice that big old beak?
No, I'm telling you, like I was all centered on just those three.
No, I thought it was beautiful. I even loved the Knights of the Eyrie being like, "Nah, man, you're on your own. Get out of my face." So
Robert just said that after adding that face to her collection, she's basically going to be playing Leatherface from now on.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and the rest Chainsaw Massacre.
Rest in peace. Actually, the director.
Is it the Valyrian Steel Massacre at this point?
Yes.
The director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, has passed away as of yesterday, I believe. So didn't mean to bring it down, but since you guys bring it up, we'll give a nice rest in peace out there for the man.
Hey, and if you're, if you are watching, especially in the chat channel, hey, make sure to give us video a like. And if you're watching for the first time and you're enjoying what's going on so far, make sure you subscribe because we do this stuff all the time, as well as Preacher every Monday. So thanks for joining us.
if you guys are all wondering what the heck Texas Chainsaw Massacre is for some reason, go to our Amazon link on our website and get that thing downloaded and purchased over there as well. So shameless plug for our Amazon link. You guys are welcome for that.
To
Done
tie into
seamlessly. You're all
tie
welcome.
into Beacon's little preacher plug right there, all I have to say is better playing Leatherface than Arseface.
Oh, that's not a face anybody wants to take.
Speaking of bad comparisons, so I know we just had this amazing mega fight over the weekend, supposedly, and then we had a fight between Theon and Man off the Iron Islands. Who had the better fight, McGregor Mayweather or Theon in the Iron Island?
Ooh.
I'm going with Theon just because when he got hit where men normally get pain when they get hit, and you saw his face
The
go like,
look on his face.
He's like, my power, my superpower, and he just went nuts. And that
The
was
one time
hilarious.
he thanks Ramsey for
Yeah, right. Have you ever seen Orgasmo? He's the guy at the end who got it. His supervillain name is now the Neuter or something like that.
Well, I love that Super Hoovian's phrasing on that was he just smiled and he went nuts after getting and nobody else caught that.
Nobody else caught that.
But
Nope,
I
not
love
at
the foreshadowing of that scene because what were they talking about at the very beginning of this episode? Between Braun and Jamie.
Eunuchs.
Yes.
The importance of
Yes.
So, and that how you can't be a man if you don't have that, and now you
I
put
just
It really all
Love
comes down to cops.
There we
lots
go.
of reasons. Lots of reasons.
I just loved it because I mean this whole time they're talking about you ran away, you ran from this, you ran from this, you ran from this, and it's really Theon Reek, whichever you want to refer to him as, continuously getting up and taking on the challenge. And really he won for the first time in his freaking life as a Greyjoy. He actually won the respect of other
Ironborn.
the Iron Island, Ironborn. Yeah. Like he
If you're
finally took what he wanted, with iron.
Yeah, absolutely.
if you're gonna bring up that scene at all though and talk about that fight, you have to start with the conversation between him and John, because honestly without that
That's
he'd
true.
still be Reek. Like at this point, like
That's a good
I
point.
still hate the man and want him to die as soon as he saves Yara. Like fuck the guy, honestly. But he's somewhat redeemed himself. He can be Theon. Like John granted him that, and it was only through his forgiveness that Theon was able to stand up. So
The point where John said, "You are a Greyjoy and a Stark," you could see just relief wash through his body. Like, oh my God, I'm getting accepted. Yeah, and I was it Nudie, was that your theory that Reek has fully taken over and that Theon was essentially dead? I think at this point,
exactly,
Theon's back a little bit.
No, I completely agree, and that was the point, and I have to acknowledge that. That's exactly what I was trying to say. And good point, man. Yeah, that's Theon. He can now be Theon again at some degree, at some percentage. So, yeah.
I mean, he's got
And it was
when you
all
think
because of
about
that
it,
conversation.
He does have a great redemption story. I mean, in the works. So that
I hope, yeah.
I mean, we all hate him. Don't get us wrong. We all hate him, but he did. I mean, he did help Sansa, of course. And
I don't hate him.
Some redemption there.
I just think he's blood.
I really don't hate him. I really don't. I think that he's made a lot of very, very horrible. Trust him a lot, and I think he's continued to make a few bad choices because he was at heart a coward. But knowing that his adopted family, I mean, because that was kind of his adopted family, but hearing someone from that family finally say, I can forgive what I can, and you may be half this, but you still are always going to be half this, and you never lost Ned, and because I think at the core, Ned probably would have forgiven him.
Oh, absolutely.
John
and
did.
So I think that was
exactly
what he needed.
Reason.
Yeah.
I agree. And honestly, everybody deserves redemption. I completely agree that he does deserve his chance at redemption. But that guy has dropped the ball and screwed up so hard, so badly, so many times, intentionally, on purpose, not intentionally, just so many ways and so many times. It's just, I'm never going to be able to forgive his character.
He's not just,
he deserves redemption.
Dropped the ball. He's looked to the opposing linebackers and thrown it directly to them consistently.
Yeah, and shit the bed over and over and over. It's just
But you know,
I'm not gonna like the guy.
the whole speech that he made to John was, "Look, I was dealt a crap hand, and I've been trying to do my best. I know that I've messed up a lot. I feel bad." And you know, we all kind of gotta forgive him for that at some point, or don't. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool. So moving on, I'm glad you guys know. I thought that was a killer scene, though. I loved the Theon talking to John. It just shows what kind of a guy John is. He believes in the redemption. He believes in that redemption story, and he offered that to Theon here. He really did, and he gave Theon the words he needed to go and make a change for himself, and that really what makes John that great leader out of all of these things that have been happening with him. So next moment on, though, is we finally, my man Sam, he finally makes it to the north, man. He finally gets there. He peeks his head in the door. What's up, little crippled kid? How you doing?
Seems to have found that portal to Winterfell.
Well, no, can I say that he's the only one that actually
took forever,
proper amount of time this season?
About an episode and a half it took him to get up there. So absolutely, I agree with you on that, Mess. It's been a little while since he took that journey. So
he was Sam though. It was hilarious. Like, oh, well, what happened to you beyond the wall? I became the three-eyed raven. Oh,
I don't know what that means.
Right on. I do like that. What I don't like is him just totally taking credit for discovering the Rhaegon connection there, and just totally dissing on that. Gilly's the one that found it, you know. She's the one that read.
I didn't even think of it. Yeah, you're totally right. I didn't even think about that. He totally took credit for that.
By the way, when they go to the flashback, is that the same actor that played Viserys? Because,
it looks like him.
My God, that was an uncanny resemblance.
It did.
Well, it just means Viserys looked like his father or
his brother.
Oh, dude,
like in real life, you know, we're
so good.
We're 6 years past where Viserys was in the show. Is that literally just older actor, same guy?
Hey man, they're all in the same
been.
bloodline, so they're just making clones.
Because it really did look like him. Because I thought that was him, and I'm like, why are they showing him again? Like, what's this got to do with the story? And then they flashed out to Lyanna, and I was like, oh no, that's Rhaegar. I was
oh, and by the way, the actress that they cast to play Lyanna, they talk a lot in the books and a little bit in the show about how much Arya is supposed to look like her. Good casting.
Spot on.
Yeah,
good
spot
casting.
on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very
yep.
spot on.
Short, dark hair. Absolutely. Very stark, if you would. 100%. So we finally, this has all made the revelation. Everybody who's read the books, Aegon Targaryen is Jon's true name.
Yes.
So they finally get there. We've all known it. It's all been whispered and hinted. And that I think this is actually the first time the exact words have been said. This is who he is.
He is the rightful heir to the throne.
He is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne now. Who else was cringing watching someone get with their aunt like that? So
this is the first time I've ever been excited about incest.
I was half and half, because half was like, oh, like, why couldn't Bran have just sent that raven before this happened? And then the other half, I'm a girl, so you know what? I saw Jon Snow's butt. I'm happy.
And is this the first time that we've seen like nudity throughout this season?
Yeah. No, so that's a good point. This is the first time we've seen full-on nudity this season.
You can't have a show called Boobs and Dragons without boobs.
Yeah.
I still don't think I don't know. I wasn't looking hard enough to find any. So
for being stuck in like Winterfell in the north for so long, I mean, somehow he managed to get some sun on his bum, dude. Because
I'm sorry, you were checking out his tan lines?
It's all one color when you don't ever get in the sun. It's all one color.
I didn't look
I guess
that
you
hard.
compared it to Daenerys, so I can't.
Apparently
Nancy was a big fan of it. So.
Beacon looked a little harder than I did, because I didn't notice that.
Couple of pause moments on the remote right there. Like, hold on a second. Let's see this.
I was watching with my wife, so
he was in the south there for a little bit.
There you go.
So Mess,
so to speak.
Mess, what this finally means, that the cat's out of the bag, man, and now we got to get to Jon. What does this finally mean for the cruise here? Like, what's really going to happen now?
In terms of
just the alliance in general. I mean, this is a little shaky at best as it is, and now we're gonna have the bomb dropped on us that they're related and all these different things as well.
I
Like,
don't think they're going to care about the relation. It was at least back to the books. It was the Targaryens were a pretty
Incestual
family. So I don't think it's going to bug them too much on that. You know, it's going to come as like a wow, but this is a completely different world to them. The
Targaryens married brother to sister for generations. This is not a problem they're going to have.
We're talking
the actual fallout is going to be is all of a sudden Dany's been on this mission to become the next heir of the Iron Throne, and now it's going to be
Westeros' next top model.
Yeah, but they've also been talking about turning it upside down and breaking the wheel. And what better way to break the wheel than to actually have two people legitimately ruling together? You know.
The main thing that
once again, now that we have this little bit of love story going on, George R.R. Martin has said, end of this entire series is going to be bittersweet. So, are we talking?
He's not in charge anymore.
Well, are we talking a Romeo and Juliet bittersweet, where that bittersweet romance of something happening between the two of them towards the end? I mean, it because of all this, who knows?
I liked the fact that John early in the episode brought up the fact that, hey, who told you can't have kids? Oh, the guy or the witch that murdered your husband? Yeah. Have you ever considered maybe she was lying? But also
ill-informed, not lying, ill-informed.
Right. That's fair.
Alternative facts.
Alternative. That's what we're gonna go with. All right. So, well, and here's the thing, right? So now we finally have, and I think you're right, Mist, a little bit where Dany's been trying to establish herself as the heir, right? And now she's gonna have this new revelation that Jon is there. Who do you think kind of takes this harder though? I mean, is Jon gonna kind of lose it for an episode or two and oh my gosh, my whole life has been a lie, or is Dany gonna be is she gonna maybe take offense to this that now she has a threat to the throne?
I think they're just gonna be a little bit weirded out. They're just gonna be like, oh, like
the main.
I think it's gonna it's gonna be a lot to take in at first.
The main thought that I had when it was literally being confirmed as Bran was talking, saying his real name is Aegon Targaryen, I was thinking, okay, so he is the rightful heir to the throne, but he's already bent the knee to Dany.
He has already bent the knee. And he's made it pretty clear he doesn't really want it.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
Doesn't.
He's never wanted to lead.
I don't think that he's suddenly going to hear this and go like, oh, I've been denied my whole life. I must have this now, even though I've never wanted it before. I just don't see that happening.
Gotcha. Well, and here's the reason why I asked though is because and that's all kind of where we're at right now is what is going to go on with that. Obviously, they're going to fight together. They're going to fight this war together. But do they end up staying, and ruling on the Iron Throne together? Does Jon split off and stay in the North as a Stark family member? I mean, but technically he's a Targaryen as well. So where does he go once all this is said and done? I mean, what are you guys thinking on that?
I think, honestly, the factor of it, I think once it becomes much more common knowledge that Cersei's going to use this as a way to try and drive them apart, that they're try and pit in Dany's mind.
Really? Cersei's going to use incest to wedge them apart?
There's the irony. There's the funny part about it. But yeah, she's going to pit the whole factor into constantly push into Dany's mind that there's somebody there to take her place. That he just wants, especially once he becomes the Dragon Rider.
She wants someone there to take her place. She was complaining earlier in the episode about how I'm the last of my family. If there's someone to pick up after her, as long as he lets her lead, they'll be fine.
But that's what I mean. Is Cersei's going to be pushing that factor of it's not that he's letting you lead. He is literally going to take your throne from you.
I don't see Cersei and Dany having too many more actual sit-down conversations.
It's a whole season. And it's 2 hours an episode.
Yeah.
2 hours an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, possible. They're talking about feature length, so that's an hour and a half to more, right? So that's an hour and a half or more. That's 90 minutes plus. So
plus, look at the worry on Tyrion's face there. He
dude
knows he's been imposed. Basically, he's no longer her right hand man because he's.
You mean where you're standing there in the hallway like a creeper listening to them?
Absolutely.
Trying to look through the keyhole.
I still think Tyrion's counsel will be welcome, but I mean, it's Tyrion. He knows that this could end badly, I guess.
Well, I don't think it's so much that it's going to end badly for Tyrion, and I don't think he's worried about it ending badly because he trusts Jon. He trusts Jon as a fellow bastard, things of that nature. But what I think Tyrion is now worried about is, how do I play this now? You know, I was able to talk Dany off the ledge because I see things differently than her. But how am I going to kind of talk to both of these now as a hand? You know, how is my game going to change for him?
Well, I think the fact is that both of them trust Tyrion. Dany chose him as her hand, and he's given good counsel to Jon throughout. There's no real bone of contention between any of those three other than issues of leadership. I think if they literally get together, he's still staying the hand, and that won't be a problem. My opinion.
Yeah.
Well, the real hand is coming north out of the Lannisters with Jaime, so he'll be there. We'll watch Tyrion die off, and the gold hand will arrive, right? So
I love the gold.
Well,
go ahead, sir.
I do wonder if this is what is going to push Jaime to switching sides, because Cersei seems to have forgotten that at Jaime's core, he does what's best for the people. I mean, he didn't kill the Mad King to protect the Lannisters. He did it to save the realm. He's going to do whatever he does to save the realm. And if it
absolutely correct
means walking away from Cersei, then he's going to walk away, and she's lost.
Well, he's already walked away.
He's already walked away.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yes,
Cersei created that last straw. What caused the last straw to get broken? Like we said last week, we thought it was going to be Bran getting killed or something like that, but it was Bran that caused it because she #FLoyalty. Is what she told him. And
that was such a good moment too.
And the thing is, he was showing that loyalty to Cersei, but Cersei did not return it back to him.
Ever.
No.
Gotta come back.
I think another thing that y'all are forgetting is that for her to say that, a person that is driven by honor, loyalty, oaths, for her to say, no, screw that, we need to do this, that means something, because that is a person walking away from the core of her being to say this is more important than oaths and family and loyalty to those things that we've had in the past. We need to fight essentially right now. I mean, it's almost like Independence Day. We fight for our very survival, you know? So wake up. Another bad comparison for you.
That's
that was a great comparison. I love it.
You had it, Bill Paxton. Don't worry. We'll, wait a minute.
So,
this is our
Pullman
Walker Day.
Pullman. Yeah,
Pullman Paxton.
Wrong Bill. So here's the thing, right? So we have a lot going on, obviously south of the wall, and where we finished this episode is north of the wall. We finally get up there and watch this White Walker army show up, and they show up kind of bigger and badder than that has ever been seen.
My jaw was dropped for most of that scene.
Good. I was gonna say, what'd you guys think when you just finally saw this White Walker army in its full force show up, man, and throw down?
I thought, does that dragon need to take a breath at some point? It was like a laser, laser pointer at the wall.
Yeah, when you don't breathe air anymore, you ain't got to worry about refreshing.
I
Maybe
honestly,
it was coming in through the holes in his sides.
Oof. I honestly thought it was going to end with them just looking at the army, and then you see them slowly coming out of the trees, and then I was just like, oh no, oh there they go, oh
no,
and then I wrote words we're not supposed to say, and then it was just like, well, now we need to hashtag the episode, oh god, we're all gonna die.
I just wanted to make sure Tormund and Beric had gotten far enough down the collapsing wall that they didn't die, because he's still got some issues. He's got business to deal with Bran.
Please, yeah.
I'm sorry, Papa Matt. He's got some business.
I know, and you know what? Now that Jaime's heading north, I'm rooting for Tormund. I'm like, heck no, I can't compete with that gold hand. I can maybe get past Tormund. All right, I can maybe get past
all four fingers though. It needed one less.
Hey man, Brienne's a big gal. All right, we're just gonna leave it at that. But there's a big piece here that I was really excited to watch this dragon now show up. Undead dragon, was that the White King, the Night King on top of that dragon, or was
it
that another one of
was.
his dragons? Okay.
No, he is riding that dragon.
Ooh,
to
that's scary.
destruction. The one plus that we have from this is Bran did see it happen. He was warged into the Ravens, and so he knows at least. Oh crap! Okay, our timeline just got sped up even more. And I'm sure that that'll be one of the opening scenes in season 8 is him hopefully telling people that the wall has fallen.
Also going through the portal to tell Jon that he's a Targaryen.
There you go. Right. Absolutely. Well, magic is back in the world. They're going all around the place. So talk to me a little bit, guys. So, I mean, that's kind of the episode we've got, but break down that last scene for me a little bit, Mess. I mean, we saw the wall breaking down. How technically far, I mean, knowing the books, everything like that, what's the travel going to be like for this army to get to Winterfell? Because that's really going to be the first place they hit, right? That's the first place they're going to hit after they get through the wall, right?
That's going to be on their way. That was the easternmost point. That was
East Watch. Okay.
Yeah.
They're still farther down.
Martin has said that Westeros is roughly the size of South America. So to get from King's Landing to Winterfell is like marching. It's supposed to be a good 30-40 days. Winterfell to the wall is probably another 20.
Okay, so they'll be there in 30 minutes in an episode.
Okay,
exactly.
so well,
the army portal. Yeah.
That's season 8 will just be like 5 episodes of them like marching step by step, you know.
Okay.
So
because
they do seem to be a little bit slower than everybody else. So
yeah, a little bit. They're not walking in a big hurry, but they're coming from Eastwatch and they're coming in. So Castle Black is down. Castle Black is the one that's closest to Winterfell, right? So they're like down here. So they're going to try and converge and meet up.
Yes.
I am assuming, right?
Okay. So Castle Black is not on the wall then. I mean, like, how are they get from Eastwatch to Castle Black? I mean, they're not
going to go to Castle Black. They're going to start heading directly southwest towards Winterfell.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was assuming the troops that are stationed at Castle Black are going to come down and converge and meet with the Winterfell army.
Once again, what could be drawing them to Winterfell first as well is the fact that Bran's there, and if there's anything about magic drawing magic to itself, that just because Bran's there,
that and the fact that the Night King has already marked him.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's gonna help them when you think about it, because it's gonna stretch that army coming west at that point and allowing the other army to come up and flank them. So from a strategic point, that's actually going to be helpful to the living.
I don't know. Our armies get stretched out because there are stragglers or because the supply lines are long. They don't need that. They're dead.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, they're coming one direction. They're going to be able to get flanked from the other. That's all.
Sure. So we know that where Jon and Dany are headed is going to be the White Port. What did they say where they're headed? What's the city? The port that they're heading to on boat. So they still said they still have to head north to Winterfell. Is that a location though? Because I don't know the map well enough. Is that a location though where they're going to be? They can head off the White Walker army, or are they going to be meeting at Winterfell, kind of behind that onslaught already?
From what I remember of the books, the place that they're heading is roughly southeast on the coast from Winterfell. Gotcha. So as the White Walker army heads down southwest from the wall, they'll be heading northwest to Winterfell, and so they'll probably converge at some point.
Okay, so and if you guys are in the chat room and you know the answer to kind of where that's at and where it's out of the map, put it down in the comments below. Because I'm not sure. Throw it down in the comments below. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that good stuff as well. With that all being said, I mean, that's kind of all we got for the episode. Was there any kind of last thoughts or anything like that you guys wanted to go through? B, let's start with you.
Just the mountain of the dwarf. That was one of my favorite scenes of them walking down the hall together, and I can't wait to see that battle between the Mountain and the Hound.
Absolutely, Clegane Bowl.
Yes, I cannot wait for it. But yeah, I'm excited for what's next. I just started book 5, by the way, so on my book journey. So yeah, hopefully by the time we get another season, we'll have another book. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. Mess, what do you think, man? What's kind of final thoughts? Any ideas for going into next season?
No, I mean, it was a good little placeholder on stuff. I don't think they left more open than not, because we definitely still have nothing going on with the Red Lady and when she's coming back, and we know that Viserys is going to have an interesting situation because she said he's going to die, so we know it's coming up. Now, one thing I did want to bring up.
Not
You mean,
Viserys.
you mean Varys.
Varys.
You-
Varys.
Yeah.
Varys.
Sorry, that was the dyslexia getting me a little bit.
Go ahead, Mess.
I did want to bring up one thing, possible foreshadowing on way that people die. And it would be a crazy way if they did this, but Cersei mentioned the kill order to the mountain. And
The
it
white-haired bitch.
It was Dany,
Yeah.
Tyrion, and Jon.
Yeah.
That's the order. So if Dany goes first, if something happens where Dany goes, we know that now Tyrion's in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. The mountain will
Because
come.
they may have foreshadowed a potential death order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the show.
Well, and now that army's gonna have
I
to fight
think
on
that's
two
a-
fronts. You know, that's the
Final
thing.
Destination.
It's a little bit of a stretch, I think, in that, but
the show is
it
but the
could
show
be.
is known for definitely sticking foreshadowing in there and like sticking in your face when you go
Yeah.
back and look at it and go, holy
But I
crap,
don't-
was that? You know,
But I don't want it to be true.
you don't. But
I
it'd
mean,
be, you know.
Cersei is not the one that's going to come out at the end. I mean,
I-
even if that
no,
is true,
absolutely
she is
not.
not going to live through this.
Absolutely not. But they could be
Yeah.
foreshadowing who the main. We know that not everybody's going to live, so it could be foreshadowing who of the main power players that people like the most could be going.
Who do
Yeah.
you think is going to end up killing Cersei? Jaime or
Jamie.
Tyrion?
100%
Jamie.
I still
Agreed.
I
think
think
that
Tyrion.
I got to go with Jaime. I think
I still think it's Jaime as well.
Valonqar means little brother. We still do we know who was born first in the twinsies?
Cersei.
Okay, then yeah.
Cersei.
Yeah,
Then
there's
Jaime
that
still
possibility.
counts as little brother. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be
How
a
about
fun.
how funny would it be if they choke her together? Because Jaime has,
With one hand.
gold hand.
His two little hands make his one big hand. Yeah, that would
God.
be fantastic. I love that.
We all just want her to
Do you
die.
imagine them preface it like a brother bonding moment? Brother bonding moment.
Fist bump.
If they just start playing the theme song from like Step Brothers, like, did we just become best friends again? Let's go kill our sister. I would be all about it.
That's
So,
scary.
Nudie Rudy, without throwing any F bombs at us, what are your final thoughts?
Honestly, I just want to acknowledge one thing I don't think we really hit on too much is that Jon Snow is not just Aegon Targaryen. He is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne.
Yeah, we talked
He's
about it a
the
little bit,
male
yeah.
heir.
Yeah.
It would pass by, but no, we didn't really hit that. Like the power dynamic between the two of them is now completely. It's not just the fact that is who is the heir to the Iron Throne. Get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, we talked
Naomi
about it a
is
little
Yeah, we did.
flip flop. Like okay,
You forgot you were gone for a few minutes there, but no, we got you.
yeah, it was.
No worries, dude. No, but and that's one of those things. That's something that we're gonna have to see play out, right? That's gonna be something in season 8. We're gonna have to watch and see how that plays. You know, and with Mess talking about the kill order from Cersei, that's something where we could see Dany go, and Jon now knows that that's his throne anyways. So you know, he loses, you know, someone that he loves, that you know, someone that he finally finds out is family. And now he has to kind of take that mantle.
well,
So you're absolutely right, for sure.
what would force him to take the throne more than her going? Because he doesn't want to be king. Remember?
Right.
Absolutely.
That's
So he's
possible.
gonna
I never
have to
said he
find out
wants
that
to. They
he's
would
the heir.
take
Yeah.
it. It's just the fact that
He's going to have to
that
find out that
completely
he's
changes
heir,
the power
then if he
dynamic between the
dies.
two.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'll say it again. Like
No.
her whole journey is to break the wheel, to do things differently, and John's on board with that. So
She should stop having sex with her family then.
that's part of
Hey,
the
yeah,
wheel that needs to be broken.
Part of the wheel that, you know, she just keeps falling into that pit. She just keeps falling into that, you know, family history there. But no, and I think
Somebody's
it's one of
falling
those
into the
things where that would be the thing that would push John over the top. You know, that would be something to kind of give John that cause to do something like that. So the death of his family was what had him take up the King of the North mantle. The death of his love in Dany and his now newfound family would kind of be that mantle to take over the Iron Throne, I think, as well.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the death of Danny. I'm saying it's his throne. Not
Once again, he would give it up to her if she was alive, though.
Yeah.
If she was alive, he would give it to her. He wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
once
saying it's
again,
not the fact. I'm just saying that is.
Something that Nancy brought up real quick in the chat was that Cersei being pregnant, she thinks that the kid will die before Cersei does. I think absolutely. Hello. Okay. Maggie the Frog predicted that Cersei would have 3 kids, so Cersei's days are numbered. because she's going to die before that kid is ever born.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's what I think as well.
Although
That's-
I'm still holding out for her giving birth to a dwarf. So
Or she's still, or she's still faking it to hold it over everybody's head. You know, she used
Absolutely.
it. She used it to trick Tyrion that you know, all I was fearing for was my child, and she's used it to try and keep Jamie there, knowing that he's, you know, so she could still be faking it.
She's a bad bee. She's a bad bee. Sarah, final little thoughts for us before we break off here.
Going into season 8, I think I'm most looking forward to seeing what Sansa and Arya are going to do up in the north. But I think no matter how it all shakes out, I think Sansa is going to be the ruler in the north. She's going to be the new Stark of Winterfell, no matter what else happens.
She's Lady Stark.
You know, whether it's ruling down by Dany's side or he's ruling alone. Because I think no matter what, she's going to be the one that runs Winterfell.
Well, and that's one of those things. Once I think the news gets out, and that's the dynamic that I know that I'm looking forward to seeing as well, is once that news gets out that Jon is a Targaryen, Sansa takes over as Lady Winterfell, as she always should have on that. So I see final thoughts, dude.
Jaime kills Cersei while Tyrion watches. Hound kills Mountain, epic battle. Davos kills Melisandre, and I think Bran kills Night King.
Okay, nice. So awesome. I love it. Actually, like all those. I think Cersei is going to create with her maester a army of her own dead. I think that we are going to have an undead White Walker breakout in King's Landing, and Winterfell ends up fighting two sides of an undead war that come from both the south and the north on top of them. She tries to get a power that she can't control, and it runs loose, and it creates a million more White Walkers off of them.
Well, would it be White Walkers or would it be Sandwalkers? Because
Sandwalkers, White Walker, anything you want to. I'm gonna call them. I'm just gonna call them Green Walkers because they'll have been created from the fire from down below there.
And in the end, it's all revealed to be just another chamber of Westworld.
Well, what it is actually is it's the new season of AMC's Walking Dead after Kirkman takes off. So,
but Walt didn't create the blue meth yet.
If that's the case, then can we have Cersei get eaten by a White Walker, turn into a White Walker, and then Jaime come across her eating another corpse and going no, like Daryl did?
I'm into it, 100%. I'm into it.
What was his brother's name?
Merle. So there's my. You guys heard it here first. My off the wall. I really want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in. I know we went a little long here. We really appreciate you guys, Robert, Nancy, Luna, all of that you hung out and stayed with us. Remember, y'all, please like, subscribe, leave some comments for us. Let us know what you guys think. We really do appreciate the time that you've given us. If you guys would, one by one, starting off, IC, where can everybody find you at, sir?
At ICZORRO, at ICZorro on Twitter and Instagram.
Super. Where can everybody get you?
Follow me on Twitter at SuperHoovianNut.
Nudie.
Yeah, you can follow me at Nudie Rudy on Twitter and Nudie Rudy on Instagram. And please also follow the official Malice Corp Instagram as well.
Cool. Mess, what you got?
You can follow me on Twitter at @mest_Malice Corp, and many of these names are down in the links below. If you guys don't know how to type all this stuff out, you can click it out. There's a couple names that aren't there that'll get added on there, but make sure you come back and follow us for Preacher tomorrow night, and we're going to be talking more Game of Thrones. It's going to be Game of Thrones Mythbuster style next Friday for the MaliceCast. So if you guys are enjoying talking about spoilers and theories and thoughts like that, definitely come back next Friday.
Yep, and a Beacon.
Yeah, you can follow me at Beacon_Malice Corp. You can follow our MaliceCast at MaliceCast all on Twitter, and you can follow the main website at Malice Corp on Twitter as well.
Cool. No, and once again, everybody, thank you so much. Like, subscribe. We really appreciate the time. This is a chat just as much with us and as old friends as it is with all of you as well. Continue that in the comments below. Let us know what you think. You're going to see links popping up all around my head to like and subscribe and check out other videos for you guys. So look around, check it out. I promise they'll be floating somewhere around here. You can follow me, the Big Papa Matt, on Twitter, as well as my other podcast where we talk a lot more about this, and where Nudie is free to run with all his F-bombs and other curse words on the Nerd Mosh Pit. So follow us on Twitter at Nerd Mosh Pit, as well as Gmail Nerd Mosh Pit. And we love you guys. Thank you so much, and have a great one out there. We are out for the night.
Later, guys.